All right, everybody, we'll get going with Georgia. We have Coach Baldwin here. We have Dallas Goodnight and Lily Backus. Coach, we'll get started with you for an opening statement.
Really excited to get things started. Just shout out to all of the Georgia administration and all of the supporting cast members that have really worked hard to put on a great show. I thought the facility looks amazing, and it was just fun to have all of the buzz and the excitement that the SEC tournament provides here in our home field. And then as far as the game goes, I thought Lily did a really good job of establishing command of the strike zone early. Probably as few change-ups as we've thrown in a minute for her, and that was just a tribute to the fact that she was commanding the other stuff so well. And then Dallas was really a spark for us today. Got a big hit there in the 5-run inning, and Shorty did what Shorty does. So really proud of the way that that we played, and then we got after it. I thought we were pretty free in our competitiveness, and we didn't make it a bigger deal than it is. And overall, I would say this is a crazy, funny game. And, Sunday, I felt like we hit the ball well for 7 innings and we get shut out. And today, we just had some things fall in that we'll certainly take. We've taken our fair share of the tough breaks that this game provides, so we'll take the good breaks today and just enjoy the win and get ready to go again tomorrow.
Thank you, Coach. As we did with Kentucky, please raise your hand and we'll call on you for a question. Yep.
Coach, let's talk a little bit about that 4th inning stretch. You guys came out early, got a quick 3-0 lead. There was a little bit of a pause.
Sure.
Five runs. We'll just talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, I just proud of the way that we were stringing together some at-bats there and make some adjustments. We had talked going into that inning about not trying to, Coach Lou used to always say you feel time, you don't think time when it comes to hitting. And I felt like we were thinking time a lot, trying to figure out what we were trying to hit. And so we just really talked about making an intent to just time the ball and feel what shows up. And I thought we did a good job in it that inning. And, we got a couple breaks too. We had a couple little balls fall in that we'll take. And, otherwise, I thought we ran the bases aggressively and we applied pressure in those 2 big innings.
Coach, fair hits for Jaden today. Nice catch in left field. Where have you seen her grow the most this season?
She's just a ball player. Again, I've said this many times. Fell in love watching her when she was 12 and hasn't changed a day since then. And she just has some it factor to her. She can go make plays. She's one of the most accurate throwers I've ever coached from the outfield. But to answer your question, ultimately, her discipline at what she swings at in the strike zone has been the biggest difference for her and what has allowed her to go from a good player to a better player, the discipline in the batter's box.
John?
For the players, Dallas, can you talk about the first inning? And what I'm curious is when you get on base and then they have a little meeting, I'm guessing it's probably about dealing with you and trying not to let you steal seconds. Does that incentivize you a little bit more? But just the value of getting those 3 to start off with, and really kind of same thing for you, getting the 3-run cushion after the first. What does that do for you as a pitcher?
Yeah, I was just excited to get going with the tournament at home, but just trying to get a good pitch to hit and find my way on base. That's really my job, is just get on base, run the bases. We have many power hitters behind us to hit me in, and it worked out today.
And then having a 3-run lead out the gate was a good cushion. Gave me some confidence out there, so I think that was huge for us to come out swinging and score early.
Go ahead.
Really playing in the SEC, obviously there's not much margin for error with either the top 10 teams. Can you just talk about getting through the grind? It's such a long season against league competition, and then being able to come out and be at your beat for a game like today.
Yeah, I think this season's been a grind, and we've been working to improve every day, and every game we've gotten a little bit better. And so it was awesome for us to come out today, and everything seemed to come together at the right time.
Lily, I believe it was runners at the corners. Chelsea comes out and talks to you. Obviously, she's had success in this tournament. What was her message to you?
Just to focus on hitting my spots, and it only takes one good pitch to get out of it.
John?
Tony and Dallas, was there a talk of sort of a reset into the postseason? The regular season probably wasn't what you wanted, and so do you sort of do something to sort of kind of clean the slate, or stressor, or you just kind of, this is the next game up?
Yeah, it's a new phase of the season. Nothing before now matters. It's the postseason. It's kind of like life or death now. So just competing and not letting anything from the past, it doesn't matter anymore. We're just ready to go.
Yeah, at the end of the day, you can't do anything about what has happened, but you can take the lessons that we've learned and apply them. And, it is a fresh start. And every game is that way, but when you get into the postseason, the stats don't matter. And, I can think back, and we've related this season back to a number of, teams that we've had at Georgia. Kaylee Puiloa hit one of the biggest home runs in Georgia softball history. And nobody remembers what her batting average was going into that game. So you get an opportunity to go leave a mark and contribute to the team, regardless of what has happened or hasn't happened over the course of the season. So that's really what it's about, and excited to keep playing.
Yes.
Coach, you mentioned Jaden's play discipline. How is she working to improve that?
I think it's just maturity, over time. I mean, the gal has had a lot of at-bats at the SEC level, as a junior, and learned, and sometimes the hard way. But at the end of the day, when you're one of the focal points that people are trying to attack, you have to be able to have a little bit of a game plan. And she's grown in that area and learned what her strengths are, I think, a little bit better. But also, she just has her hand-eye coordination is as good as anybody I've ever coached. She just doesn't swing and miss. And so, that's a blessing and a curse, because sometimes when you swing at bad pitches and you don't miss, then those turn into easy outs. And so her ability to keep the ball in the strike zone and attack the right pitches has been successful for her.
Coach, I asked the Kentucky coach about this. I guess I asked you about Texas and Oklahoma joining the league. I mean, the league was already really good. What does that do for the league when you add those two powerhouse programs?
Yeah, I think it's great for college softball. Every weekend there's just unbelievable matchups in this conference. And, if you can keep the right perspective through it all, what the SEC gauntlet provides for you is an opportunity to be prepared for when the postseason shows up. The hard part is that on the outside, all the people out watching, right, they want to evaluate all the outcomes. And we're just trying to go through the process and get better and become the best version of what the Team 29 has to offer. My conversation with the team today was about, success and what success really is. People around us will define what they think success is for this team, but at the end of the day, this team has been a success because we've gone through the whole season. We've continued to grow. Every weekend we've shown up with a mindset that we can put it together and win the game. That's what success is. Sometimes you can win the game and not be successful because you get lured into this false hope. This team hasn't done that. We've battled from start to finish. Yep, we've come up short more than we would like, but it has been a success because we're as strong together today as we were when we started this journey. I guess that's a tangent, but Oklahoma and Texas, they're good teams. Yeah, but we've played a lot of good teams, and that's what's great. This isn't for the meek. If you don't love to compete, and if you're not willing to take a punch and get in the fight, then this league isn't going to be for you, because there's no place for the timid in this game. And so being able to just show up and enjoy the opportunity to compete against a worthy foe, it doesn't get any better than that.
I guess just follow up. Speaking of worthy, you got a team that's ranked number one by one of the polls tomorrow.
Sure.
What do you see from Arkansas? I think, was it 5 different SEC teams been ranked number one? I think they're the highest scoring team in the league as well.
Yeah, they certainly have a player that's on fire. Bree has had a good a year in the SEC as anybody in a long time. They're extremely well coached, and they seem to be on a roll right now. But the crazy thing about this game is it's just one game tomorrow. We don't have to beat them 56 times. We just got to find a way to have things go our way tomorrow. And I feel good about where we are, and we'll go compete, and we'll see.
Back corner.
You guys are you were faced with the first time in the surface effect of Oklahoma arriving here. with the Barnum and Bailey show, and what in your minds do you think will happen when they arrive here in the tournament scene that's not their backyard, not the ASA Stadium, but it's a piece of real estate run by the SEC? How do you guys envision the Oklahoma arrival here? Excited or?
I think we'll worry about Arkansas first.
Yeah,
I think that'll be challenging enough. Yeah, these guys weren't here, but you know, we had that good fortune in 2021 of going to the World Series and having to play Oklahoma State and Oklahoma in ASA Stadium, so that was awesome. You know, but you know, the thing I would say about Athens, what makes Athens great is it's the greatest college town in the country. We're an hour from Atlanta, which is a melting pot of SEC fans. So every weekend that we play, whether at home or away, there's other teams' fans here. When Florida rolls in for years, they've brought tons of fans. LSU is LSU, and Alabama, they've got a bunch of their fans here. So, you know, Oklahoma's going to have a bunch of fans, and they're going to do their thing. But at the end of the day, you know, it's still 60-foot bases. The pitcher's 43 feet away, and they've got to throw it to the same strike zone as everybody else. So the game is hard enough, you know, you can't get consumed with the other stuff. Anything to add?
Well, did Oklahoma play here just a couple years ago?
We did, yeah. I think we ended maybe a 43-game win streak or something like that.
Any more questions? All right, Coach, girls, thank y'all.
Yep, thank you.
Go Dogs.
I think it's water though.